Hey guys, it's the Legend Man here again. I'm bringing you guys the same story as last time. It's just part two. Well, I don't think I'm gonna do a big intro, so without further ado, here you go. Officer Miller was what some may describe as an angry salt and pepper man. He towered over me at 6 foot 5 inches tall, with silver hair playing peekaboo through his once coarse black hair. His face was completely shaven, with beady black eyes that followed you everywhere you went. For his age, he didn't have much of wrinkles. Certainly not any smile lines, but occasionally you could see pressure build up in a small vein above his left eye when he started to get irritated. That vein was constantly there, perhaps due to the fact that he'd been trying to run for sheriff for over 15 years, yet he has never had enough support to actually be elected. He glared at me as I sat down on the other end of the table. "Tell me everything from the beginning," he said. Well, I took a deep breath. On my call list on the middle desk of my cubicle, there is a phone number starting with 706. When I called that number, the woman warned me to run out of my car in 120 seconds and... Lawson, he huffed. Stop trying to be cute. I spoke with that young girl out there as soon as she came in, and she said the suspect was a man about your height. It was a woman with blonde hair, I insisted. At least I saw her holding the machine gun. You think there were two suspects? He puffed, his eyes darting around my face. Two suspects and two survivors from the shooting. All I know is that there was a blonde woman, probably Jennifer, walking to... Lawson, his voice blew me up. Are you telling me that you think that there are two suspects? Both suspects matching the physical description of the two survivors. No, I pleaded to be heard. I'm not blaming Katie at all. I didn't even think she was in the building. But please, I called a woman named Baba Smart and she told me that this would happen. Go to the crime scene and grab the call list. Call her yourself. Now you're telling me that Papa fucking Smurf told you that the shooting was going to happen, Officer Miller grunted. But I saw it. Officer Miller can play the whole Smurf card all he wants, but I saw it. My father virtually studied every published journal in existence and was a master at behavioral psychology. Being so invested in his studies to find a cure for cancer, he didn't have much to talk about me at the dinner table. He would give me, did you know facts, and he would teach me how to read a person's face and recognize micro expressions. You know those facial expressions you make ever so slightly and ever so quickly right before you adjust to the proper expression to match your body claim? Human beings are not natural liars, and Officer Miller was no exception. Before his beady eyes mocked my story, something glazed over them briefly and the corners of his mouth almost formed a grin. It wasn't Papa Smurf, I scoffed, unsure on how I should respond to his almost grin. But it was a woman with a thick accent, similar to Katie's father's accent. The woman was probably Russian. So now you're blaming Vladimir Putin and his Russian hackers. Officer Miller laughed like a hyena and turned off the recording device in his hand. Jesus Christ, kid. If you didn't have the reputation of being the Dr. Paul Lawson's son, I would fucking beat the shit out of you and let you rot in the hole. I don't care how smart your dad was. You are a fucking monster and you will be charged for everything. Expect me before Sunday morning, fucker. He winked. And that was that. I slumped, defeated, angry, confused, scared. I made my way out through the wooden door through the lobby and out into the parking lot. I was surprised to see Katie waiting patiently next to my Mustang. How'd it go, Davy? She must have splashed some soap and water to clean her raccoon eyes, and it looked like she put on a fresh coat of mascara. Though her eyes were still red and her nose puffy, she was still beautiful. Don't let her distract you. Be attentive. Like shit, I snorted. That douche wonders why he hasn't been elected sheriff yet. He didn't even get my full story and tried to blame the entire thing on me. Katie was silent for a moment. He tried blaming me too. We were the closest to the crime scene. They must have tried to blame the survivors first, I guess. Silence. I suppose that makes it the logical sense to thoroughly investigate the survivors, but I didn't even get a chance to speak. I'm going to have to demand to speak to another officer, maybe even get a hell of a legal team if things keep progressing in the wrong direction. And Katie? How did she get out of the station before me? Katie started to tear up again. I'm just so scared that whoever it is will come back for me. Do you mind if I stay with you tonight? That message scared me. But I trust you. Sure. My voice was nonchalant. And despite the suspicious circumstances, I was gushing inside harder than a teen at a Justin Bieber meet and greet. Her body danced to the passenger door and gracefully sat in her seat. I quickly got into the driver's seat and tried to focus on starting the ignition and not staring at Katie. Her slightly see-through white t-shirt was a V-neck that showed off her round breasts. The 1-inch crucifix she wore around her neck was settled right above the heels of her chest, as if it was guardian against sin-filled eyes. She always dressed so provocative. I suppose that we truly are our own demons. Can I tell you something, Katie? I contemplated. Anything, David. She smiled and sat a red, manicured hand on my thigh. Whoa. My dad spent so much time working that I never really knew him. When I got to the phone call that he was crushed by that semi, I only cried for about an hour and a half. Got drunk with an old dorm buddy, and that was it. It was over. His attorney gave me a suitcase, one of those scroll locks. I knew the code, 0706, his code for everything. It was in his will that I owned the contents of that suitcase. He had page after page of handwritten notes, but I didn't even bother reading through them. On a sticky note on the very top of the pile of the notes, he scribbled the words that he had no cure for cancer. So I didn't read through those notes because I thought it was going to be a big waste of time. I was so pissed. You have to understand, I didn't have a mom throughout my teen years, and my dad was completely absent in my life. He sacrificed every second of the time he had with me and didn't even succeed. I didn't even read the letter he left for me at the suitcase. He took the inheritance money, and that was it. Oh no. Oh. No cure, huh? Bummer. Was all she said and removed her little hand off my thigh. Oh shit. The rest of the car ride to my family home was uncomfortably silent. Katie's flamboyant personality was dull, but considering the lines of events today, it probably wasn't fair to expect pep from her. Maybe Officer Miller was right. Maybe I am a monster. I don't have any kind of emotion for my coworkers whose brains are splattered across the cubicles. In fact, I was looking forward to having the next few days off work. I'll be pretty pissed off if our manager Kevin makes us come into work with Luna's inside still printed on the white carpet. I pulled into the short driveway to the brick one-story home my father, mother, and I both lived in at one time. I don't think Dad wanted me to move after Mom's death. Even though the jobs with the agency paid him pretty well, Mom may have passed away, but she had left her mark on the house. Though the narrow hallway that leads to the 3 bedrooms, one that we kept as a guest room, even though we never had company, my father or I had never bothered to paint over the silly drawings my mom and I had done with crayon on the walls. In their bedroom, Mom had marked the cream walls with a blue Sharpie to indicate my height every first day of February and August. And she had done the same for herself, and I swear, you can still smell the slight scent of strawberry body spray she had spilled on the carpet room over a decade ago. Katie quietly opened the passenger door and followed me to the front door. As soon as we were in the living room, her sing-song voice spoke. I can sleep in your dad's old room, and you can sleep in your bedroom, baby. I don't want to intrude in your personal space. She winked. Whatever makes you most comfortable, I grinned. But I haven't been in my dad's room since he died. I mean, since I stuck that suitcase back in the closet. We have a guest bedroom, you know. Or I can just sleep in your bed. Okay, then I'll take the guest bedroom. Like I said, it's whatever you're most comfortable with. And just like that, the guarded Christian girl walked over to me and blessed me with her kiss. One thing that led to another, and before I knew it, I was carrying Katie through the threshold of my bedroom. She wore nothing but that little crucifix. The next thing I knew, I was laying completely naked on top of my sheetless bed, with only the mercy of the moon crawling through my bedroom window. Oh shit, I fell asleep on her. She must have been pissed and went to the guest room. Shit. Unfortunately, this was not the first time that I'd fallen asleep in the middle of intercourse. I guess it's something to do with my medication I take every morning to better my health. I think a better side effect would just be death. Though all of this, I could hear the obnoxious beeping from the landline. Nobody ever calls my actual home phone, except for Kevin. I hope that he left a message excusing us from work until the crime scene was completely bleached and cleaned. I quickly searched my boxers and shorts and jumped to a sudden boom. The familiar sound of a gunshot. It sounded dangerously close, as if it was shot in the street directly in front of my house. Since my window faces towards the backboard, it would be impossible for me to see what was going on in the front of the house. But just in case, Katie was right, that whoever had killed our coworkers would come for us. I grabbed the machete I keep under my bed and that's when I heard it. Shuffling, groaning, and light tapping on the other side of my wall in my father's bedroom. Someone had broken into my house through one of the windows in my dad's vacant room. They're here to harm Katie. They're here to harm me. I stopped searching for my boxers so that I didn't risk making any noise. In the nude, and quieter than the intruder in the next room, I was feather light on my feet as I tiptoed into the hallway. I froze in front of the closed wooden door leading into my father's bedroom. There was a shadow coming from the space between the bottom of the door and the carpet. Whoever was in that room was waiting for me on the other side of the door. The knob began to turn, and I drew a sharp breath and lifted my machete. I didn't waste any time though, and though I was physically naked, I was not vulnerable. As soon as the door opened, my adrenaline guided me to slit the neck of the intruder, who let out a yelp. After stabbing their eyes and angling my machete behind the collarbone to dig into their chest, I stabbed her about a dozen times before I realized what I was doing. In front of me laid a mutilated Katie Kozlowski, bleeding from virtually every inch of her body. The crucifix was broken from its chain and slid behind her collarbone, falling right into her chest, and I like to believe that it snuggled right up against her heart. I didn't waste my heart tears on her. The scene in my father's room made me glad that I'd killed the bitch. Behind her was an open suitcase. That black leather suitcase my dad had left for me, with its contents all over the floor. What the fuck was this bitch looking for? I stepped over her body and quickly gathered as many papers as I could. Most of them seemed to be handwritten notes. Perhaps Katie was going to publish them and claim them as her own for a quick buck. It was not neat, and most of them were wrinkled and folded. But when I thought I had everything, I shut the suitcase and headed out of the room. Something beyond my scope of knowledge is happening, and I cannot just wait at home for the next individual to come and try to steal my father's work, or possibly even harm me. I grabbed my debit card from my room, threw on a pair of sweatpants and a yellow t-shirt. The irritating beeping was still coming from the landline, and I thought that I would humor myself and just listen to Kevin's message. It's not like I was going into work for a while, regardless of what he said. As soon as I pressed the play button, my heart anchored in my gut. Hello, David. Papa Smart doesn't know if you're listening to this before or after the act. Do not worry, my boy. I am so happy you agreed to get rid of Katie. She's so bad. We are good. We are the same. I told him not look in your dad's room. Papa Smart, we'll get you out of this. I called the police for you already. Let them take you and this will go away. Click. For the first time in 3 months, a tear fell from my eye. I turned around into the living room and my keys fell out of my hand. Out in the street in front of my house were 4 vehicles flashing red and blue lights. Another gunshot roared through the otherwise empty street, and I decided it was time to meet my destiny. At the very least, I have the message from Papa Smart saved on my landline. Without a doubt, someone will go through Katie's iPhone and find messages left for her. And I have the 706 number on my call list at work. I can get through this. I have the evidence. I just need to keep my composure. An officer, I assume, began pounding on my door. At a crawling pace, I made my way to let the officer in. There will be justice. I will not give up until Papa Smart is defeated. Alright guys, well, thank you guys for listening. I hope y'all enjoyed it. There's a part 3 coming out here probably soon. Just waiting for the OP to post it again. Also, don't forget to subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. If you don't like it, it's alright. Put a thumbs down, put a thumbs up, whatever you want. But thank you guys for y'all support, and hope to see y'all soon. With that, Let Your Man signing off.